In the realm of mirth and jest, wherein melodies doth frolic with zest, and rhythms dance beneath the sun's bright beams, resided a minstrel of peculiar dreams. Orion or Zephyr, his name in debate I found, midst Harmonia, a world so great and like his kin, who plied the classic lyres. He favored beats and rhymes, fueling his fires. Of mirth and jest, wherein melodies will frolic with zest, and rhythms dance beneath the sun's bright beams, resided a minstrel of peculiar dreams. Orion or Zephyr, his name in debate I found, midst Harmonia, a world so great and like his kin, who plied the classic lyres. He favored beats and rhymes, fueling his fires. The elders' brows furrowed, disapproved, claiming his music the peace it removed. In the whispering woods at dawn's first break, Orion chanced on an artifact awake. The microphone of truth spoke thus in kind.
Orion used his rhyme, seek what you find. The symphony falters, 'tis time to renew. Blend old and new, create, stay true.
Inspired, Orion set forth on a quest to breathe new life to music he'd attest. The 5 a.m. crew dawn's early light, blending the old with new rhythms right. Classical tunes entwined with hip-hop grace. Shakespeare's verses met modern slang's embrace. Skeptical elders watched with surprise as Harmonia youth danced beneath the skies. At the grand festival gathered in grand, Orion took stand, microphone in hand.
Listen good folk to this symphony bold, in unity strength let our voices unfold.
Henceforth did Harmonia embrace all manner of music, every space. Inspired by Orion, the 5 a.m. crew in diversity's embrace, new tales grew.
The Rhapsody of Rhythms, a hip-hop Harmonia tale. In the magical land of Harmonia, where melodies floated on the breeze and rhythms pulsed through the ground, there lived a young musician named Orion. Unlike the other inhabitants who played classical instruments, Orion had a passion for creating beats and rhymes. The elders of Harmonia frowned upon his unconventional music, claiming it disrupted the symphony of their world. One day, as Orion was crafting beats in the whispering woods at the crack of dawn, he stumbled upon an ancient artifact, the microphone of truth. The artifact spoke to him, "Young Orion, heed this rhyme, for you've awoken just in time. The symphony's gone stale and weak, new rhythms and flows you must seek. Blend the old with the fresh and new, create a sound uniquely you." Inspired by the microphone of truth, Orion embarked on a quest to revitalize the music of Harmonia. He traveled across the land, collecting sounds from babbling brooks, whispering winds, and the heartbeats of ancient trees. Along the way, he met other young musicians who felt out of place in Harmonia's rigid musical structure. Together, they formed the 5 a.m. crew, rehearsing at dawn when their creativity peaked. They mixed classical melodies with hip-hop beats, Shakespearean verses with modern slang, creating a sound never before heard in Harmonia. The elders were skeptical at first, but as the children of Harmonia began to dance and sing along to the new rhythms, they couldn't deny the power of this fresh sound. The 5 a.m. crew's music spread across the land, breathing new life into the stagnant symphony. In the grand finale, Orion and his crew performed at the annual Harmonia Music Festival. As they took the stage, Orion spoke to the crowd, "Lend me your ears, good folk of this land, for a new dawn in music is close at hand. We blend the old with the fresh and bold, creating harmonies both new and old. In diversity our strength doth lie, so let your unique rhythms fly high." Their performance was a masterpiece of fusion classical instruments intertwined with beatboxing. Shakespearean soliloquies flowed into rap verses, and ancient Harmonian melodies danced with hip-hop grooves. The crowd was entranced, moving to the beat as one. As the last note faded, the microphone of truth appeared before the astonished audience, pronouncing, "In this blend of old and new, Harmonia's spirit rings true. Embrace the dawn, the different, the bold, for in change new stories are told. Let each voice sing its own song, for in diversity we grow strong." From that day forward, Harmonia celebrated all forms of music. The children, inspired by Orion and the 5 a.m. crew, began exploring their own unique sounds, ensuring that the symphony of Harmonia would forever be vibrant, diverse, and ever-evolving. And so the tale of Orion reminds us all, to thine own beat be true and stand tall, for in the music of life we find our way by embracing our quirks come what.
Oh, darling, when I gaze into your eyes, it's like staring at a magic show gone awry. A tad paralyzed, I must confess, your sarcasm hits like a heavyweight stress. You know that knife? Yours cuts like cheese, spicy.
The Symphony of Harmonia, Apsara's musical tale. In the enchanted realm of Harmonia, where music flowed like rivers and melodies danced on the wind, there lived a young apprentice named Apsara. She had always dreamed of composing the grandest symphony the kingdom had ever heard, but her creations, while pleasant, lacked the spark that made truly great music unforgettable.
I've always wanted to create something truly magnificent, but something's always missing.
One day, as Apsara was lost in thoughts by the mystery of chord cascade, she suddenly heard a soft giggling.
Ooh, a young seeker. Little girl, turn around.
By a magical waterfall that constantly shifted between major and minor keys, she noticed a familiar figure but couldn't recall. This simple yet mysterious man stood quietly as he waited for her to finish her analysis to make the next decision. He continued to watch with twinkling eyes. Absara noticed a majestic 5 AMM stitched in bold black on his plain white t-shirt and khaki pants.
Who are you?
Little did she know, this simple yet mysterious man was the one and only Maestro Dynamics, the legendary composer known throughout Harmonia for his ability to move audiences to tears of joy and sorrow with his music. The creator and developer of new musical tunes and styles based upon the legendary sonnets, creating Shakespearean, satirical, philosophical rap melodies, a mutation of styles and tunes. You seem troubled, young one, the maestro said, his voice as rich and resonant as a well-tuned cello.
I want to create music that touches the soul, but my compositions feel flat.
Absara sighed. Ah, you seek the secret of dynamic chord progressions. Come, let me show you. He led Absara to the harmonic glade, where flowers of various colors grew in circular patterns. Each color represents a chord. Watch closely. With a wave of his hand, the flowers began to sway and change colors in a mesmerizing dance. See how they shift and flow? This is the essence of dynamic progressions. It's not just about the chords themselves, but how they move and interact. Absara watched in awe as the purple flowers, representing minor chords, seamlessly blended into vibrant reds, major chords, creating a bittersweet melody that tugged at her heart. But that's not all. He stomped his foot and suddenly the ground beneath them began to pulse rhythmically. Listen to the drums of the earth. They provide the foundation, the heartbeat of our music. As the flowers danced and the earth pulsed, Arya began to understand. The dynamic chord progressions were like characters in a story, each one with its own personality and purpose. And the drums, they were the narrators, guiding the listener through the tale. Now let's combine them. He began to conduct, his arms moving gracefully through the air. The flowers swayed more vigorously, changing colors in complex patterns. The earth's rhythm became more intricate, with subtle variations that perfectly complemented the harmonic shifts.
Apsa closed her eyes, letting the music wash over her. She felt joy, sorrow, excitement and peace, sometimes all at once. When the performance ended, she opened her eyes, tears streaming down her face. She noticed the man mysteriously and silently disappeared, but then suddenly she heard a soft giggle.
That right there, little girl, is the power of music. And within this music, an existence of dynamic chord progressions and rhythmic foundation working in harmony. Haha, work hard, little girl, and we might meet again in the future. From that day forward, Absara approached her compositions with new understanding. She learned to use secondary dominants to create unexpected twists in her stories. She experimented with modulations, transporting her listeners to new emotional lands. Make the background music, Shakespearean satirical storytelling, 100 beats per minute.
In the enchanted realm of Harmonia, where music flowed like rivers and melodies danced on the wind, there lived a young apprentice named Apsara. She had always dreamed of composing the grandest symphony the kingdom had ever heard. But her creations, while pleasant, lacked the spark that made truly great music unforgettable.
One day, as Absara by the chord cascade, a magical waterfall that constantly shifted between major and minor keys, she noticed an old man with twinkling eyes and a long flowing beard. This was Maestro Dynamics, the legendary composer known throughout Harmonia for his ability to move audiences to tears of joy and sorrow with his music.
"You seem troubled, young one," the maestro said, his voice as rich and resonant as a well-tuned cello.
I want to create music that touches the soul, but my compositions feel flat.
Maestro Dynamics smiled knowingly. You seek the secret of dynamic chord progressions. Come, let me show you.
He led Absara to the harmonic glade, where flowers of various colors grew in circular patterns. Each color represents a chord, he explained. Watch closely. With a wave of his hand, the flowers began to sway and change colors in a mesmerizing dance. See how they shift and flow? This is the essence of dynamic progressions. It's not just about the chords themselves, but how they move and interact.
Absara watched in awe as the purple flowers
seamlessly blended into vibrant reds,
major chords,
creating a bittersweet melody that tugged in her heart.
But that's not all. Maestro Dynamics continued. He stomped his foot, and suddenly the ground beneath them began to pulse rhythmically. Listen to the drums of the earth. They provide the foundation, the heartbeat of our music. As the flowers danced and the earth pulsed, Orion began to understand. The dynamic chord progressions were like characters in a story, each one with its own personality and purpose. And the drums, they were the narrators, guiding the listener through the tale. "Now," said the maestro, "let's combine them." He began to conduct, his arms moving gracefully through the air. The flowers swayed more vigorously, changing colors and complex patterns. The earth's rhythm became more intricate, with subtle variations that perfectly complemented the harmonic shifts.
Absara closed her eyes, letting the music wash over her. She felt joy, sorrow, excitement, and peace, sometimes all at once. When the performance ended, she opened her eyes, tears streaming down her face.
"That," Maestro Dynamics said softly, "is the power of dynamic chord progressions and rhythmic foundation working in harmony." From that day forward, Absara approached her compositions with new understanding. She learned to use secondary dominants to create unexpected twists in her melodic stories. She experimented with modulations, transporting her listeners to new emotional lands. The new emotional lands.